Morning. Thanks for joining me here at Lulworth today. Now I've got an ultra marathon coming up in a few weeks, so I need to get some training in on elevation. There's no better place locally where I can do that. So, planning on a 16-mile run this morning. It's got about 1,200 metres of elevation. See how we get on. Just left the car park a moment ago. This is the first hill up Bindon Hill, which just loops up over the cove, Lulworth Cove, and then I'm going to drop back down to the sea, just for some extra elevation, more than anything. And then big climb back up to the top of Bindon Hill, and then there's a leg that sort of is an out and back section. It's a shared section that you drop down into another little bay before climbing back up to Flowers Barrow, where there's what remains of an old fort up there, and then nice big loop through the firing ranges down to Kimmeridge, and then may even drop back down into Tyneham village again, just for some extra miles and elevation before coming back sort of in the most direct way along the ridge here at the top of the hill here. See how we get on. Just look at the view. Just look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. So I've just come up over Bindon Hill and just making my first descent now. Just to loop down into the bay here, and then at the far end, down there somewhere, I'm going to climb back up. Now there's a climb. Good for the muscles. That's what it's all about. Just arriving now at the first gate, about to enter into the firing range. So, a couple of rules about being in the firing range. Firstly, make sure you stay within those yellow posts. That way you're not going to run across any unexploded ordnance. And also, you've got to check that the range walks are open and the military are not actually firing at the time. They won't let you in anyway, but save your wasted journey if you just check online that the ranges are open. I'll pop a link down below for you. It's not a sight. I've just come up over a little hill and I've just spotted my next big climb. Ah, look at that. Look at that bad boy. I'm at the base of the first big climb now. It's just back up to the top of Bindon Hill. So as it's quite a steep one, I'm gonna hang on, let me put you down. There we go. So because it's quite a steep one, I'm going to use my poles. So what I can do is take some of the load off my legs and involve my arms in the climb as well. It's kind of like having a bit of a banister rail all the way up. Righty, let's do this. I'm guessing that's about halfway up now. It's been amazing. It's actually a really nice day. It's a little bit overcast and quite chilly. But it's just when you're on. Catch my breath. I don't know if you can see in the background there, Portlandville. And I think you might just be able to catch a little glimpse of Lulworth Cove down the bottom there. Alright, onwards and upwards. I soon made it to the top of that one. On for the next one. From the top up here you can see so far. You see just over here, you've got Lulworth Castle. Behind me, over there somewhere, you've got Poole Harbour. Oh. On that shed section in the middle, between Bindon Hill and Warborough Bay. So Warborough Bay is just down here, and just got to dip down here, and then I'm coming up the hill up the other side. Okay, so there's the one we just come down, just coming up this new one. But I just thought I'd point out little reminders that we are actually in a military firing range. That's it, top of that climb. So we're just going to go into this, it's really difficult to see, but there's a sort of an old fort structure up here. It's easier to sort of understand what it is when you see the aerial shot, where you can see quite clearly that quite a bit of it has fallen into the sea. But impressive nonetheless. Got Warborough Bay just down behind me, and you can see this little drop off here is my next descent, and then drop down into the bay, and then I'm going to go along that ridge all the way back along to Kimmeridge. So that's Warborough Bay behind me, and there's Warborough Tout right behind that. So a little climb out of the bay. I use the opportunity for a little jump. make sure you get all your electrolytes and energy before you run out. Lovely little running section here along the ridge. I've got Tyneham, it's just down the valley behind me there. I've got Kimmeridge Bay just ahead of me. So, Kimmeridge Bay just down there. Just going around this hill. Halfway down the hill, back down towards Kimmeridge Bay now. Looking forward to climbing out onto the ridge, getting the views back again. Right. Well, we're just coming up to the edge of the firing range again. We'll be heading back in a little bit later on. Just going to come into Kimmeridge and then head north, up onto a footpath, up onto the other ridge, through Steeple Leys, and then back into the firing range, down into Tyneham. Do you ever get that feeling when you're wandering through a random field, whether you've strayed from the footpath? Let me know if you ever get that feeling. Pop it in the comments. I know there's a footpath here, it just doesn't look like it. There's definitely a footpath there somewhere. There's a stile at the top of the hill. So I'm on the middle ridge now. Just going to head down through Steeple Leys Farm and then climb out onto the far ridge, and then just for fun drop down into Tyneham and climb back up to the ridge again. Runners are nuts. So that's Steeple Leys Farm done. Just getting to the bit, well, it's the only bit of the route that I'm not particularly fond of, and it's just the road section climb until we re-enter the firing range. But then we get a lovely long road section down into Tyneham. So look forward to that. Hello, Mrs. Sheep. So we're back at the top of the ridge, and we're just going back into the firing range again. So there's this lovely little path. It just runs parallel with the road, it keeps you off the main road. There we are. That's better. Right, end of that path. We're back on road. This time very gentle downhill, all the way down into Tyneham Village. Nice. So I made it down to Tyneham village, the Lost Village. It was occupied up until 1943, and then the military, who wanted to extend their firing range, should we say borrowed the village for the rest of the war. The only trouble was when we got to the end of the war, the military deemed it too expensive to give it back. So that's why the military still own it today. And it's quite eerie. I think people were moved out of here thinking that they were pretty close to the end of the war and it wouldn't be long before they'd be back in. They never came home. It's a real slice of history. Alrighty, that's enough of a break. Been exploring Tyneham for a little while. Time to get back on. Whew. Oh, stiff legs now. Trig Point's always a welcome sight. Even though it's downhill from it. So back in Flowers Barrow. I think I've got one more significant drop down and up again before the final descent down into the car park. It's looking a little bit misty out to sea. Let's just hope it holds off until we get back to the car. I made it to the top of the last hill. Just going to run along the ridge. I'm not going to drop down like I did earlier. I'm just going to run along the top and then drop down at the end into the car park. Oh, it's been great. Good workout. That's it, just leaving the firing range now. For the last time. Ooh. Just the last drop down into Lulworth and into the car park. Oh, weather's closing in a little bit. I should get back to the car before it turns. And the last descent now down to the car park. Legs are not doing too bad this time. Obviously getting stronger. And awesome. Thoroughly enjoy it out I go. Just the last little bit back to the car park now. Just want to say thank you for joining me. And if you appreciate what I'm doing, please give us a like. Why not subscribe while you're at it? And if you hit the bell icon, you'll be notified every time there's a new video. Till next time.